Thank you very much, Shalom. Greetings to you all. I hope you all are enjoying the Year of the Monkey. And I thought it would be a great time to quote a fantastic Michael Frank song, Monkey See, Monkey Do. Love us locked us up, peaches. We're locked inside the zoo. Your bananas get thrown at me and mine get thrown at you. Every night we fuss and fight like me and you know who. I guess love is always just. Love is monkey see and monkey do. That's all it is, peaches. Love is monkey see and monkey do what I lie to you. And of course that song tells us there's another celebration in the air. So I hope you're all getting ready for Valentine's Day, the non-Hebrew 15th of Av, a day of love, a celebration of l'amour. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. There's nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. It is true, all you need is love. And there's no lack of incredible love songs to pick to celebrate your Valentine. From deep, meaningful, soulful odes to love, to silly little love songs, it is always great to celebrate any festival of love. I'm almost sending out love. Let us send out some healing energy to Gary and to our good friend Allison, both going through a bit of a rough patch right now and in need of the love of the world. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And my deepest sympathies go to Louis and the entire Resnick family on the passing of your father. Shmuel ben Lib Valea, God full of mercy who dwells on high, grant perfect rest on the wings of your divine presence in the lofty heights of the holy and the pure, whose shine is the brightness of the heavens. To the soul of Shmuel, who has gone to his eternal rest, as all his family and friends pray for the elevation of his soul. His resting place will be in the Garden of Eden. Therefore the Master of Mercy will care for him under the protection of his wings for all time, and bind his soul in the bond of everlasting life. Heal us, God, and let us be healed. Save us, and let us be saved. For the one we praise is you, and bring healing that is complete. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, the true judge. Alav HaShalom, may he rest in peace. Peace be with you and your family. A wise rabbi once said, pay attention to the ways in which your relationship continues, in reference to those loved ones who have departed. Everyone in our lives is the product of a relationship, and relationships have their own life. Are we ever really ready when a loved one leaves? Have we said everything we wanted to, done everything we could? If your answer to any of those is no, then take the opportunity to tell them you love them, you appreciate them, you thank them. When I die and they lay me to rest, going to go to the place that's the best. When I lay me down to die, going up to the spirit in the sky. Our soul connections traverse the bounds of time and space and go on forever in the echoes of eternity, friends. Spirit never dies. And with Valentine's Day around the corner, tell the love of your life how much they mean to you. Tell her about it. Tell her all your crazy dreams. Let her know you need her. Let her know how much she means. Go ahead and make sure you tell them. And special thanks go to Harvey for his very generous donation. Like Blanche Dubois, I too depend on the kindness of strangers. Well, he is no stranger, and my sincerest thanks do go to him for his ongoing donations. Every little bit helps, and I'm pleased to say his is not a little bit. And of course, this week's Parsha is Terumah, donation. Now, what would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? I like to think not. But what did the people do when Moses is out of sight for a little while? Well, we will find out. We just saw him ascend Mount Horeb with Joshua. He's going to be gone for 40 days and 40 nights, and he will return with the tablets written by God. But out of sight, out of mind. And while we're waiting, we're going to get a series of instructions, again out of sequence, my friends, for the building of the tabernacle, the holy place of God. And there is more written about the tabernacle than anything else in the Torah. The Hebrew word we assign to it is Mishkan, which literally means abode, that I shall abide in their midst, is what God says. It is, of course, a portable sanctuary to be carried from encampment to encampment in the wilderness. And while it was ensconced in the first temple, it was never a part of the second. And we get the instructions on building the Ark of the Covenant. It became the heart of the tabernacle and temple and the heart of our symbol of faith. And these instructions about the design of the tabernacle and its furnishings will actually take up the rest of the book of Exodus, with the exception of the episode of the golden calf, coming up in 2 weeks in chapters 32 to 34. Now, modern readers may well be perplexed as to why the compelling narrative of the liberation from Egypt and the revelation on Mount Sinai should be set aside for this lengthy account of cultic paraphernalia. Friends, it is important that the historical circumstances of the assembling of the Torah must be kept in mind. That editorial process, in all likelihood, took place in priestly circles early in the period of the return from the Babylonian exile, which would be the late 6th century before the Common Era. The strong scholarly consensus is that these chapters are the work of the priestly writers, and the fascination with all the minute details of cultic trappings seem a clear reflection of the priest's special interests. And the priest writing this section would have modeled it on the temple as he knew it, with its 3 narrowing spaces from entry to holy sanctuary. Now, the space from the entrance up to the paroquet, or what we deemed the holy curtain, is referred to as the holy. The space inside the paroquet is the Holy of Holies, meaning the holiest of all places. Now, regardless of what you believe, the quantity of detail in these chapters is an indication that these are authentic descriptions of the tabernacle and its accoutrements. And while the dominant view of biblical scholarship has been that the tabernacle never existed, the content, detail, and character of the text says otherwise. Now, by the time of the temple's destruction, in 587 before the Common Era, the tabernacle and its contents, the ark, the tablets, all have disappeared from the Bible. So this section must have been written well before then. Now, the rabbinic tradition is that the presence of God was in the first temple, but not in the second. And friends, all you have to do is mention the ark. And who does not think of the ark, the repository of the tablets of God, without thinking of Indiana Jones, Indy to his friends? Now, you've heard me talk about the steps we undergo in preparing ourselves for events in life, whether physical or spiritual or both. We must pass through a progression of levels, and we will do so with these incredible symbols of worship, with increasing awe and increasing danger as one comes closer to the sacred. Now, I've also mentioned that in the coming books of law, rules, regulations, judgments, that you may notice much more allegory, metaphor, and allusion. That is what the tabernacle and the ark are. They are the physical manifestation of what a nation puts in place to honor the sacred, and they are what you put in place to honor the sacred of your life. And this parsha is about building these things, these symbols. And to do so, there has to be terumah, which means contribution, donation. But it is one of those words for which there is not quite any one English translation that fully translates it. Yes, these are the donations and contributions of the people needed to build these amazing symbols for worship, but it is not simply a donation or contribution as we may donate or contribute. These are from the soul, from the depth and breadth of the person. The Hebrew terumah is a noun that's actually derived from a verb that means to elevate. And among several biblical terms for gift, it is the one that designates a donation for use in the cult or by the priests. And this, of course, is a very special parsha to me because while it may not have been 20 years ago today, but several years ago, one of my great teachers suggested I share my weekly commentaries, and so began my terumah, my sacred contribution from my soul to yours. Now, as fantastic a description as we get it for the tabernacle, the thing that really grabs the reader is the ark. Now, this one is different from the ark of Noah. That one a tavah, a box, like baby Moses' tavah, the box that carried him to Pharaoh's house. This kind of ark is different. It is an Aron, the Aron Kodesh, the holy ark, what we still call an ark. And when you say it, you know what it is it houses the Torah, the sacred scrolls in every synagogue, everywhere in the world. Now, Moses is given instructions on what the people need to contribute in the way of materials and wealth in order to build this series of articles that will represent this people for eternity. Now, here is the ark of the baby Moses and of Noah, except Noah's was much more elaborate. And here's the ark housing the covenant of God and man, beautifully described in this parsha. And we're given a fantastic detailed description of materials, dimensions, such that so many get lost in the minutiae of it. When what we are really building, each of us, my friends, is the internal sanctuary, the sacred space we carry, the portable space in which we, each of us, can't hold sacred what we, each of us, does hold sacred. Now, do not get lost in the detail, my friends. And as they say on TV, don't try this at home. The instructions throughout this section are actually so complex that Rashi even comments here to tell us that Moses has such difficulty with the fashioning of the lampstand until the Holy One showed him a lampstand of fire. He had to be shown. The instructions just did not do it. It is in fact no easy task to reconstruct the actual design of any of these from the verbal instructions. The priestly writer himself may have been aware of this difficulty, and therefore he emphasized that Moses was granted a vision of the precise patterns. Exodus 25:40. And see and make them by their design that you were shown in the mountains. Now, no one has ever figured out how the tabernacle is put together. We've seen all kinds of fantastic pictures of it. The components are given here, but the text does not say how they are put together at all. And it too cannot be done from instructions. Exodus 26:30. And you shall set up the tabernacle according to the model of it that you were shown in the mountain. Again, Moses has to be shown. Now we know the people are building a memorial to freedom, built from the finest material to honor and to house the essence of the King of the universe. But the Creator cannot be pictured as residing on the earth, but rather he's understood to tent among humans, that is, to be present in association with this non-permanent, movable structure. Thus the Mishkan, the tabernacle. Even after the temple is built, God is only associated with the tabernacle and never with the temple itself. And as I said before, every one of the things we will read about, which we continue to search for, has disappeared. In fact, they were all gone by Second Temple times. There are amazing numerological patterns you can study. You can go on studying this, but don't. Focus instead on what these things represent. They are the movable sanctuary you carry within that houses your commitment to the freedom of the oneness of creation, which you can illuminate in your darkest times. We have a great picture of some of these things on our webpage. So if you've not yet seen it, please do go. And while there, you can see how the mystical Urim and Thummim worked. Now, time is an interesting teacher. It is the music of your life that you dance to. You will change over the course of your life and time. Things you held sacred fall away as new ones emerge. Beliefs you were given get amended by ones you acquire. You are a growing, changing, always striving part of a greater whole, seeking the rest of the perfection that you contain that kernel of. Never stop growing. Never stop listening. Singers come and go and stars fade away. They vanish in the haze and they're never seen again, but you can't stop the music playing on. Your growth is the music of life, my friends. Never stop the music. Well, the world is sacred and so is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everyone you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace, for freedom, for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Follow the call of freedom. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those that you love. And remember, the journey is yours to enjoy. Forget the dogma. You are better than that. We take twists and turns in the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. And be well, Gary, Taliesin. Blessings to you, Louie, and thank you, Arve. And friends, please do have an awesome Valentine's Day. Birds do it. Bees do it. Even educated fleas do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and healing and thanks and peace. Send your goodwill to those who need it. And please keep dreaming, keep being, keep teaching. And thank you all for joining me. Shabbat Shalom.